Hey YouTube, what's good? It's Noah and Oscar here, and believe it or not, it's time for an update. Now, I know it's been, fucking 3 months since I last gave you guys, like, a personal update video kind of thingamabobber. I don't really have an excuse for that, but, well, maybe I do, but nobody really wants to hear it because it has to do with bullshit going on in my noggin. But then again, I guess that kind of applies to, some changes in what's been going on. So, what has been up in the last 3 months? Alright, I guess physical changes, my voice, obviously, I actually kind of feel like it's, maybe reaching, like, almost as deep as it's going to get. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure, like, where, like, an average FTM's voice, like, reaches its, I guess it wouldn't be peak, but more of a valley, but it definitely still cracks sometimes, just not as much as it used to, which is pretty nice. But other than that, we've got holy fucking hair. Before transitioning, I always thought that I wasn't gonna be very hairy, and I still am. I still am not compared to a lot of other guys, but I didn't expect this much hair on my body. Like, I kid you not, my stomach is hairier than my dad's, which is weird, but at the same time kind of cool. Just hair everywhere is, like, a lot longer and more prominent, like, in the strangest places, like, even just, like, on my back, or maybe, like, even up here. It's weird, like, the light just catches those hairs, and they're just, like, sticking out like cilia or something. I don't really think, like, my head hair has changed very much. I'm not so sure about my hairline. I don't know, I haven't really been keeping track of it. I haven't been keeping track of any of my changes, honestly. They're just, I don't know, kind of there. And, like, in my entire transition, like, in general of late, like, I don't even really care about it. It used to consume my life and all my thoughts and my energy, but I don't know. Now I'm just like, okay, this is happening and I'm liking it, and it just is what it is, and we'll go from here. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I haven't decided that yet. So I guess on to, like, emotional and mental changes and whatnot. In the first couple of months of testosterone, like, I could tell that I was much, I wouldn't say, like, much angry or anything, but I could possibly be more aggressive and actually sort of, like, stand up for myself. But now, being 6 months on, I feel like that's leveled out, and I'm kind of just the way I always have been. Just really mellow and kind of a pushover, unfortunately. So that hasn't changed at all. I can also tell that my just entire, like, disposition has mellowed out a lot more. Like, I hate to really talk about emotions because I never considered myself an emotional person to begin with, because I was always really afraid to show them because it was more of, like, a female type thing. So I didn't like getting emotional with other people, but I don't know, it's like I can't even really get sad or angry or, I guess you'd say, more of, like, the negative emotions without something, like, really, really intensely happening. Like, I kid you not, I think I've cried twice since being on testosterone, and the first time was, like, a week in, and it's because I was watching a documentary on, something about, like, animal cruelty and stuff like that, and that means a lot to me, so I got really sad, and, like, just kind of, like, teared, But then the second time was, back in May, and I had to put one of my other dogs down. And if you guys follow me on Gender Queer Gang, you might have seen that video where I talked about it. And oh my good fucking gosh, like, I bawled for days. So, long story short, something really intense has to happen for me to get any sort of intense emotion. Yep. But other than that, I've pretty much been, like, either just flatlined or, you know, have, like, little peaks and valleys of feelings. I'm also extremely indifferent to it. I know that some people, or some trans guys, feel kind of lost without being able to feel. I don't. I'm actually glad I can't, because, like, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and I don't ever really want to go back to the way I used to feel. It sucked. It was very, like, hindering on my life. But at the same time, like, I still experience depression, but in a different way. And it's actually kind of interesting, because instead of feeling, like, really down and pretty much just wanting to not exist anymore, I'll play video games for days on end and not really talk to anybody, and, like, I'm not thinking about anything or, like, analyzing my thoughts and feelings. I'm just distracting myself and, you know, going day and day and day doing that. And I've realized that's really bad too. I like video games, but they're kind of consuming my life. They were for pretty much that entire 3-month period. Like, I was really depressed without even knowing I was. But I'm starting to feel a little bit better now, which is good. So I guess that's all I really have to talk about with my 6-month update. Kind of sucks once you get, like, more months into this, and I'm technically still at the beginning, because, like, shit, I'm gonna have the rest of my life, you know, being male. But I don't know, like, after so many months, you're just kind of like, alright, this is what it is. Like, the hype is gone. Not completely, but mostly. I guess I could talk about dysphoria a little bit. I actually don't really have much, if any, at all. Honestly, the thing that makes me most dysphoric at the moment, and it actually always has, would be, like, my hips, because I just have naturally really big hip bones, and I was a fat kid, so everything went right, you know, down there in the midsection area. So I'm really uncomfortable with that. But as far as, like, my chest goes, I don't know, it doesn't bother me. Actually, a little while ago, I showed my girlfriend, like, my entire chest for the first time in probably, like, 3 years. And, like, I'm comfortable being shirtless with her again. Anyways, I like my chest a lot more now. Still can't wait to get top surgery, which I have no idea when that'll be. A long time from now. But at least I'm okay with what I've got at the moment. Anyways, happy Independence Day to my fellow Americans, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Gender Queer Gang channel.